Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So I promised to you in the last video that I'm going to move my the drawings and everything, all the wave counts here over to the Binance chart, because it seems like that, especially Bitstamp has quite a low volume. I used the Bitstamp chart before. It has quite low volume compared to Binance, and the prices seemed to differ recently from Binance quite a bit, and also from Coinbase. And but that said, Coinbase and Binance differ a little bit as well. So it's that is the problem. You have to you can't get 100% accuracy with these crypto charts. Unfortunately, it depends a little bit what kind of data you use. But I found Bitstamp couldn't really defend it anymore. The only reason I used Bitstamp was because it has a very long chart history on TradingView. Now, the problem with Binance here, you can see it is not a long chart history on TradingView. However, for the short-term picture, that's fine. For the short-term picture, where we want to be as accurate as possible, I don't mind. So I'm using for the short-term now the Binance chart. For the long-term, I will either continue to use Bitstamp, or I may move it over to Coinbase, because Coinbase has quite a long chart history. And they also have actually this index chart here. Where is it? And that is, I think, directly provided by TradingView. That has the longest chart history, the complete chart history of Bitcoin. Now, I don't know how accurate that is compared to Binance. I did a few spot checks. It is a bit different from Binance, so I don't know where they get their data from. But I don't, I'll now go with Binance. We will observe it, see if that does us anything good. But yeah, a lot of people asked for the change to Binance, so here we are. Again, chart history is very short, so for the long-term views, we're going to use another chart. But for the short-term, especially at the moment where we are really moving down there in this tight range here, this is, I think, quite important. I'm gonna label the very, very short-term with you together. I think that's a good view, a good practice as well, and will give you a good insight about where we are now here with the latest movements. One more thing to mention here is obviously with Binance and Coinbase, those prices differ slightly as well, but Binance just has the biggest Bitcoin volume. And a few people have asked, and a few people will ask, why do you not just go to the Bitcoin USDT chart? Bitcoin USDT, I will, if I can avoid it, I will not use USDT charts. The reason is that due to the frequent slight depegging from the US dollar, you get inaccurate charts. Yeah, and if you get inaccuracies in the chart due to the depegging, the Elliott Wave analysis is not valid anymore. We had it a few times. We had very weird spikes on USDT charts, and you just get these, and this makes the Elliott Wave analysis inaccurate, and therefore it can't be trusted, in my opinion, because if these fluctuations are because of currency, basically depegging, between currencies, then you can, calling USDT a currency, well, it's a cryptocurrency, then this does not really have to do with sentiment, and sentiment is what we analyze here. So in any Elliott Wave analysis, the USD pair needs to be the preferred option. So USDT really only in exceptional circumstances. But yeah, for anybody who's new, we talked about here, Bitcoin created its wave 1 to the upside and now is in a wave 2. That should be all clear to everybody here. Then we've got the ABC structure within the wave 2. The wave 2 is a corrective wave, ABC. Yeah, the B wave was an overshooting wave B, and we've got an expanded flat here. This chart hasn't changed, or this scenario hasn't changed since December last year. So I've been following this scenario for the last 12 months, you could say, more than that. Yeah, basically 13 months ago, I told you that we will get below 29K. 29K was the minimum target to the downside in an expanded flat pattern. So the long-term chart history hasn't changed at all here. What obviously changes sometimes is those, basically how we get there. We've got a destination. It's just a question, how do we get there? And here on the way down, we've got the C wave. The C wave is a 5-wave move. We've got that as a so-called ending diagonal pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are a few different ways to interpret this. This is my chosen interpretation. Not saying that the other ones are wrong, but it just fits very well with the latest price action down here to count it like that. but also that shouldn't really be new to anyone. We've got here an ending diagonal. Wave 1 is an ABC pattern, wave 2 as well, wave 3 as well, 4 as well, and 5 as well. Anybody who's asking, this is actually quite a common pattern, all 5 waves as ABC. There's the misconception that, for example, a wave 1 couldn't be an ABC, a wave 3 couldn't be, but yeah, they can. They can. They actually are quite frequently, especially in diagonal patterns. So what else do we have? So we are basically then in this wave 5. To make the long story short, I don't think Bitcoin has seen the low yet, as you can see here. This wave 5 is what we're currently looking at. In this wave 5, we have, as I said, also an ABC structure. And the C wave is, of course, a 5-wave move. A C wave is always a 5-wave move. But the subwaves can be ABCs. Now, in this 5-wave move, I count the subwaves as 5s. So we've got here a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up already done, the wave 3 to the downside, that was the low on the 9th of November, and we are now in this wave 4 to the upside. Now, this is the question. Wave 4 could now be over already, and we could be heading down straight away, or we'll get one more leg up. This move would be looking much better with another leg to the upside. And then, however, either way, whatever the short-term price action will be here, either way, the expectation is that Bitcoin will make another low. We've got a nicely defined, you could call it a descending wedge, ending diagonal pattern here. And this nice descending wedge here provides here some kind of support action, support down here. And that is sort of, depending on when we hit it, and how we draw it, that could be sort of in the region around 14.5K. But Fibonacci extensions suggest the region between 14 and 14.5K for Bitcoin's low. Okay, now could the low be in already? Yeah, it could be, but I have no evidence for that to support that at the moment. We just need to know it is technically possible, because Bitcoin has done enough to, it has moved down enough to the downside to support that and to say, okay, we could have a low in. But again, there is no evidence to support that at the moment, and until I see a clear 5-wave move to the upside, I will not be able to confirm that. And at the moment, I just don't see it. So Bitcoin would need to do a lot to confirm it. Until then, the default scenario and view is that Bitcoin will make another low, possibly here in the 14.5K region, maybe 14.5K. That's sort of how I would see it. Looking at this wave 4 now, or this bit here on the lower time frames. The question is now, what options do we have? So maybe let's start. That is for me the easier option to explain. Let's start with the bearish variant. The bearish variant would assume that we've already peaked in wave 4. That is the immediately bearish one. I mean, they're all bearish because I don't have a clear bullish case for Bitcoin at the moment. Yeah, there is a possibility, but no evidence at all at the moment. So if we say, okay, it has peaked here in a wave 4, that was then basically an ABC pattern, and we come down here now in a 5-wave move. And that should all be known from the previous videos. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me change that to the lower degree, and we make it blue. That's how it was on the Bitstamp chart as well. So 5 waves to the downside. In this scenario, the wave 1 bottomed here in this area around 16.3K. I won't bother to put all of these support areas again on the chart. This one is not relevant anymore because it worked. So don't need that anymore. But yeah, this is certainly support around the $16,290 level. This was a wave 1, in my opinion, in this count, which is not unlikely. It's possible. Especially with all the rejections we had here recently. So then it would be ideal. This move would just look best if we had a wave A to the upside, a B wave down here, and a wave 3 to A, B, and a C wave to the upside. This is for me still the preferred view, that we will get more upside. If that is here in this sort of bearish pattern, where we will break down afterwards, or in something more bullish that we're going to talk about in a minute, that doesn't make a difference short term. So A, B, C. Yeah, and the question is just how does this subdivide in the short term? And honestly, we have back-to-back corrective price action here. So if I now go to the 1-hour chart, it is really hard to interpret this price action. What is important that we can draw here the Fibonacci levels that are relevant. We have reached perfectly the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level. So if we now draw a support box here, this is the relevant support area for such a B wave. Yeah, it doesn't need to go down any lower. It has done what it needs to do. Ideally, it turns around from here. But if it drops, and that is the purpose of these support areas, if it drops below 16,360, this 88.7% Fib level, all now based on Binance prices, so there might be a slight difference to the previous videos, then I will lean strongly towards the situation that we are already in the wave 3, that we will not get this C wave to the upside. So that's basically the level where I'm saying, okay, guys, below that, I will be strongly in favor of a direct sell-off and have to assume that somehow a high was already in, possibly already here in the wave 2. Yeah, so we will then have to assume that. But as long as we're holding this wide support area, I'm leaning towards higher, which doesn't mean we couldn't come down in the very short term a little bit lower into the wide support area and then move up. Because at the moment I see just back-to-back corrective price action here. And if I wanted to label here, I did that on the Bitstamp chart, but let's see what we get here on this chart. So I can label this as, first of all, I think on the Bitstamp chart I had a different, yeah, we had it like that. And then if I label the subwaves, what we get here is a possible A wave, B wave, I just need to, and then C wave down. I'll just make that a different color. And again, this just subwave counter trying to make sense here of the movements. So basically we are now in the C wave of that. No. Due to the, no, I think we had different on the other chart, didn't we? We had the WXY. So W and then the X wave here and the Y wave. Yeah, and the X wave itself as a, could even move it here, and then we've got WXY in the X wave, or an ABC, no, WXY. And then coming down now in an ABC in wave Y. For anybody who wants to really get into this fine detail, I know a lot of people want to, that's why I sometimes show this, and also thought it might be a good idea, instead of doing this in the, you know, in the silence here in the office, I'm just gonna do it with you together. So I think that's how we had it on the previous, I would need to double check, but I think that's how we had it on the other chart. And then the idea was that this B wave here is still unfolding as some kind of a weird Elliott Wave triangle, because we have back-to-back corrective price action. This move up doesn't convince me yet. It could be, yeah, it could be because we have reached the 78.6% retrace. Actually, I would need to be in favor of this is already going up, but I will not believe it without confirmation. Yeah, so we have hit a key support level. We are going up as anticipated, but I don't have the confirmation yet. So until now, until I see that confirmation, and because the confirmation isn't very bullish at the moment, or the move up isn't very bullish, I'd rather be inclined to see this here as some kind of an Elliott Wave triangle, which is still unfolding and would then continue to move down. Yeah, so the triangle, make that a bit more visible here as Elliott Wave triangle, which in the B wave, and then we would come down once more and see. So it should, but it should ideally bottom before it breaks below that 16,360 level, and then it should move up. What are the levels of confirmation though? So we've reached the first resistance area that I talked about in the previous video here at 16,660, or at least close to that. Yeah, this is the relevant high on the Binance chart. We had a slightly different level on the Bitstamp chart, and however, so this is the very first level. Yeah, if we have a chance to go above that, that wouldn't confirm things, but it would already be a first indication that, yeah, maybe the low is in. Better confirmation we'll get if we move above the wave A high of the triangle, because then the triangle will get invalidated. But the best confirmation you'll get is a break above the X wave. So these are three levels: 16,660, pretty much, 16,790 and 16,915. So these are highly relevant levels. And then we can also try to see if we can define some kind of a channel here, parallel channel. Yes. So we're currently in this channel. Okay, so combine or connect A and X, and you get a parallel channel which connects currently W and B. So a break above that channel would be additional confirmation we are moving higher. And from the low currently, yeah, the target for the wave C to the upside would be at least the 17,226 level. That's the 1-to-1 ratio. Possibly all the way up to 17,708. Going above that level would open the doors to something more bullish. Okay, so this is a level where above which we could be leaning more towards something even more bullish. I mean, bullish in the sense of short-term bullish. And the short-term bullish variant would be that the wave 4, which is this one in the circle, yeah. And I'll make that count green because it would be the more bullish version. That this wave 4, don't worry about that, was never finished. Okay, so that would be the more bullish idea. And then we have just a different wave structure here. We could then see, yeah, well, the bigger picture would then suggest that we have a large ABC here. So the green count would be from the low here, an A wave to the upside. Let me think. I don't want to confuse we want to do it correctly. So A, then we had ABC here in the so anyway, that's the correct count. B, and then we would see a C wave to the upside. Yeah, and then the only difference here in the short term would be, but it doesn't make a difference, and it doesn't really make a difference in terms of counting it, would be that what I've just talked you through in the blue count here in the short term, A, B, and C, in the green count, this would be, a second, this wouldn't be A, B, C, but it would be 1, 2, 3. With the difference, we wouldn't then come down, but we would see another wave 4 and another wave 5. Yeah, in the C wave. So this is the only difference. In the short term, it is basically the same price action. So I won't sketch out this in a bullish way as well. This is where we are. This technical analysis should have described to you the different possibilities, below which level I will turn immediately bearish, until we break certain levels, up to which levels do we still see a C wave to the upside or something more bullish? What are the confirmation levels to the upside that will give us more confidence that we are moving higher? And what are the, let's call it more bullish options, but we will not know about them until we move higher anyway. So in the short term, I think it's worth focusing on this channel and the key support area and those breakout points. So it was quite an extensive video, quite a long video, but hopefully it made sense. Hopefully it gave you an idea, allowed me to move the wave count here onto this chart. As you know, channel members can see the live charts on TradingView. So this is obviously for all channel members. This is now a new chart which I'm going to share on Discord and Telegram. So you can still keep the other one for the long-term view, but this is one that I will where I will share the link on Discord and Telegram. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.